Here are some of the most expensive nights out that people have had. Number 8. Boston Bruins. A few drinks after a big win is nothing strange, but in 2011, following their Game 7 Stanley Cup victory over the Vancouver Canucks, Boston Bruins players decided to spend cash like never before. How much are we talking about? A cool $156,000. For that amount, you can grab yourself 2 brand new Tesla Model X's. Winning the Stanley Cup meant the world for these players, so a little overindulgence is somewhat justified. The party took place at Foxwoods Resorts and Casino in Connecticut. So, how did they spend that much money? Reportedly, the Bruins players ordered a famous and expensive bottle of Ace of Spades Midas champagne that retails for $100,000. The champagne is named after King Midas, who was blessed with the ability to turn anything he touched into gold. While that's obviously just a myth, it didn't stop winemakers at Armand de Brignac from using the story to push their expensive champagne. The bottle bought by Bruins players will pop up in a few more of these stories. However, this isn't just any regular bottle of Ace of Spades. It's a 30-liter bottle and weighs over 100 pounds. The Boston Bruins were feeling pretty generous that night too. The staff taking care of them split $24,000 in tips. The $100,000 Midas bottle was signed by the players and raffled off for charity. Bruins players ordered 136 bottles of Bud Light, 35 Jager bombs, and 9 bottles of Grey Goose MG at $600 each to cap off their bill, and all of that is only scratching the surface of the Boston Bruins' legendary Foxwoods party. Number 7. Mark Cuban. You may know Mark Cuban from Shark Tank. He's a guy that can flex his money muscles whenever he's in the mood. A bona fide party lover, Cuban dropped $90,000 on a bottle of Ace of Spades champagne. For what occasion, you ask? Well, Cuban was excited after his Dallas Mavericks won the 2011 NBA championship. A questionable decision for sure, especially coming from a man who made millions on smart money moves. But we don't think Cuban cared much for sound financial choices that night. The partying went down at Miami's LIV nightclub. On top of the $90,000 bottle, Cuban left a sweet $20,000 tip for the staff. In total, Cuban dropped $110,000 that night. According to club owner David Grutman, Cuban's credit card was declined at first when he tried to buy the bottle. He called his bank and said, "This is Mark Cuban. We just won the championship. Can I please spend some money?" The transaction went through on the next try. Number 6. The Russian superfan. A filthy rich Russian fan, or should we say superfan, set a new bar for celebrity spending when he ran into Zac Efron and Heather Graham at a Chicago bar. In 2011, Zac and Heather were hanging out at the boardroom in Chicago when the son of a Russian billionaire and an Efron superfan spotted them. Overly excited, the fan approached Zac and offered to pamper him for the night. How was he planning to impress a global superstar? With a 15-liter Ace of Spades bottle ringing up for $100,000. Efron and Graham enjoyed the bottle of Nebuchadnezzar, another Ace of Spades line named after a famous ruler. Their server Jasmine went home with a $22,000 tip. The Russian didn't halt his spending after purchasing the pricey bottle either. He decorated the celebrity table with 2 bottles of Dom Perignon, 4 bottles of Cristal, 3 bottles of Laurent Perrier, and 2 bottles of Grey Goose. At the end of the night, the Russian spender coughed up $135,000 on what we assume to be daddy's money. Number 5. Jay-Z. Jay-Z and his friends spending a ton of cash at a party is no big deal. The rapper turned entrepreneur brought the house down at Club LIV in 2011 after spending over $250,000, setting a club record. Beyonce's better half was celebrating the launch of his collaborative album with Kanye West, Watch the Throne. Away on official West duty, Kanye missed the epic night. After emptying several normal-sized Ace of Spades bottles, Jay ordered the famous $100,000 spectacle. Club LIV was a celebrity beehive with Meek Mill, DJ Clue, Neo, Ace Hood, Flo Rida, and Daddy Yankee all taking part in the record-setting moment. Jay spending $100,000 on a bottle of Ace of Spades is like investing back in himself. His relationship with the fine liquor goes way back. He bought a 50% stake in the Armand de Brignac company back in 2006. In early 2021, he sold his 50% stake to French luxury giant LVMH, or Louis Vuitton, Moet Hennessy. The Raptor reportedly banked about $400 million from the deal, further cementing his place as one of the wealthiest people on Earth. Number 4. Alex Hope. In 2012, 23-year-old Alex Hope broke the record for the biggest bar tab in England. You might be wondering, who is this Alex guy? Well, he is a con, something we'll explain a bit later. For now, let's look at how much he dropped while drinking at a Liverpool nightclub. Alex spent a mind-boggling $322,000 in 3 hours at the English club. Some quick math tells us he spent over $100,000 an hour, or about $1,700 a minute. Alex was in the company of his soccer and television friends. How did he spend that much money so fast? Here's a quick breakdown. Alex spent $20,000 on champagne and bought $4,000 worth of Grey Goose. He rounded off the spending spree with a $200,000 bottle of Armand de Brignac champagne. All that spending put Alex in the spotlight. Authorities were hot on his tail, wanting to know how he made his money. The revelation ruined his life. After a series of investigations, Alex was found guilty of fraud amounting to $7.6 million from an investment scheme. Alex pretended to be a Forex trader and conned over 100 investors. He spent his fraudulent earnings on designer clothes, foreign travels, and expensive alcohol. He was jailed for 7 years in 2015. Number 3. Leonardo DiCaprio. Years of hard work has left DiCaprio's bank account stuffed with millions of dollars, some of which he chose to spend during his 38th birthday party. Believe it or not, DiCaprio spent a record $3 million on bottles of champagne to celebrate with his friends. And talking of his friends, they are not ordinary citizens. We are talking about top-tier celebrities here. On his guest list were names like Jay-Z, Beyonce, Robert De Niro, and Cameron Diaz, just to mention a few. The Wolf of Wall Street star ordered 18 cases of Ace of Spades, re-examined his guest list, then ordered more. But there was more to the $1 million drinking that night. The movie star used the occasion to raise money for the Red Cross that went towards those affected by Hurricane Sandy. DiCaprio did this by adding a fee to every bottle of champagne sold at the party. Not only did DiCaprio turn 38 in style, but he also raised $500,000 through his foundation. The following year, DiCaprio pulled the same stunt, only this time raising $3 million for his foundation. For this event, the actor tapped rappers Kanye West and 2 Chainz. Other A-list celebrities included Orlando Bloom, Busta Rhymes, Alex Rodriguez, and Nikki Hilton. Number 2. Rookie dinners. Rookie dinners are simple, exciting traditions in the NFL. Basically, at the team's first dinner every season, the veterans order whatever they want, food and drink, and the rookies are expected to foot the bill. The tradition has created some memorable moments across the league. The Green Bay Packers are one of the biggest sports franchises in America. In 2017, the Packers enjoyed their rookie dinner at the Capitol Grill in Denver. The players indulged in foie gras, French delicacy, ribeye, steaks, and caviar. They also downed a bottle of Napa Cabernet, costing $1,445 alongside 7 bottles of wine from Lafite Rothschild. The total bill stood at $16,000. Rookie offensive tackle David Bakhtiari was at the thick of it all. The rookies were caught by surprise after being presented with the bill. In 2019, Seattle Seahawks rookies were hit with their own dinner tab, settling a $17,500 bill, $11,000 of which went to bottles of Louis XIII. The Titans, too, are accustomed to this tradition. In 2019, they went to Jeff Ruby's Steakhouse in the heart of Nashville and ordered food and drinks worth $10,000. And now, the most expensive of them all, Dez Bryant's rookie dinner. In 2010, 2 days after the Cowboys reported to training camp, Dez Bryant, a new signee, started his tenure at the club on the wrong foot. Veteran wide receiver Roy Williams asked Bryant to carry his pads, a customary ritual every rookie goes through. Bryant, however, refused. Williams knew the right time to exert revenge would be during the dinner, so he gathered fellow veterans and briefed them on his impending revenge. What they did to poor Bryant remains the most expensive rookie dinner in history. The veterans went on a spending spree during dinner, ordering the most expensive food and drinks. They ordered bottles of Cristal, Ace of Spades, and Patreon. The total bill stood at a whopping $54,000, and it landed in Bryant's lap. Hey, be sure to check out our more detailed video for the full story. Number 1. Miami Heat. In 2013, after winning back-to-back championships, the star-studded Miami Heat decided to party like rock stars at Story Nightclub. Following their Game 7 win over the San Antonio Spurs, LeBron James and company spent $100,000 at the post-game party. The players ordered 100 normal bottles of Dom Perignon at $850 each. They also requested 3-liter bottles of Dom at $5,000 a pop. With a roster containing the likes of LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, and Chris Bosh, $100,000 shouldn't break anybody's bank. In fact, it didn't cost them a dime. The Heat partied it up at the LIV the year before, and on both occasions, the Miami club owner waived the bill. David Grutman owns both Story and LIV nightclubs. Grutman is a fan of two things: money and the Miami Heat. He sees the team using his nightclubs as free advertising and is happy to foot the bill. However, he wasn't as kind to Mark Cuban when the Mavericks beat the Heat 2 years prior. Do you think Mark Cuban is upset he had to pay full price? Click here to watch one of these next videos.